Hello and welcome to another episode of Pitch Cafe, a place where startup talent meets coffee. Today we are talking about top startup trends and we are going to look at negotiation. This is the second episode of Startup Trends on negotiation. In our last episode, we looked at 4 top hacks in getting your negotiation straight and successful. Again, today in the second episode, we're going to delve slightly deeper into the tactics of negotiation. If negotiation is quick and short, you can probably get away with it quickly and by thinking on the feet and by acting intuitively. But if negotiation is long drawn, it's happening over several months, and you're dealing with a package of $100,000 or let's say $1,000,000, then for you, it is very important to develop stamina to negotiate. So, today's very important tip for you to go on with a negotiation is to build stamina to stay in the game when you negotiate. Many a times when you're negotiating a salary, or let's say you're negotiating stock options, when you're interviewing for a position at Facebook or Google or any other large corporation or a startup, you may want to take your time to do due diligence about the company or the organization with which you're negotiating, or it could be an individual as well. And you may want to make sure that if they're saying no to an offer you're making, why is it that you're saying no? So, in the long term negotiation, where there is a huge stake, a lot of money involved, the first tip I would like to offer you is don't give up. Don't lose stamina when you're negotiating. Hold your ground and don't get too emotional about this. Because if you get emotional and if you are impulsive in a negotiation, you may get upset if the opposite party is not agreeing to your terms. So, in such a situation where the negotiation is very long drawn and the opposite party is not agreeing to your terms, in that case, act with stamina, patience, and always look out for an opportunity to ask the question why. In such situations, the question why will give you a lot of advantage. It will ask the other party to clarify why they're rejecting your offer or why they don't want to negotiate with you. So today, this is the first step in negotiation, and this is very useful for long drawn battles in negotiation, whether it is between two large corporations where they're negotiating a patent, or whether it is about a merger and acquisition. Many companies may be bidding for one startup, and this particular startup has to decide, hey, look, this company is offering me 5 million, this company is offering me 10 million. What am I going to do? What is it that works for me, and who is going to agree with me? And if this company X says no to my offer, why is it that they're saying no? Can I convince them to say yes? So this is a very first tip in negotiation. The second tip which I would like to offer is, when you go for negotiation, do you plan to have a number in your mind, and do you plan to say it? Most of the times when you negotiate with someone, let's say I hired a company in India to do some work for me, most of the times, 99% of the times, they say, you tell me how much you're going to offer. So if you look at some of the misconceptions of negotiation, what they say is, if you talk about the price first, you're the one who's losing. I don't particularly agree with this point. If you're being humble and honest, and if you have done your research about the market rates, there is nothing wrong in you spelling out the price first. So when you go for a negotiation, it's okay to go with an open mind, but always have a very crisp number in mind. After doing all the research, you've talked to like 10 other people who are doing similar kinds of deals or mergers or acquisitions or purchases, and then you came up with this number. So always have a crisp number and don't be afraid to speak it out if things are stuck. If the other person is playing mind games, that is fine. You know exactly where your price point stands in the landscape of pricing and what exactly is the value you're bringing to the other person. If you are able to articulate this properly, if you're able to say, hey, look, with my deal, with my product, this is where you're going to go, and with the other person's product, this is where you're going to go. No offense, but these are my plus points. The other person has his pros and cons. If you can give such sort of comparisons and say it in a very healthy competitive way, I think it's a very good way to get your negotiation right. So, the very first tip is develop stamina and use the word why. Why did you not accept my offer? Or why is it that I'm being priced so low? The second tip is don't be afraid to be honest and speak the number which you have in mind. It's always good to have a price point in mind. And when you are calculating your margin for all the efforts you put, if you have a crisp number including the margin, that is fine, you can still say it. And then you can think, if you have to offer a discount, how low can you go from the margin which you've quoted? So this is the second tip today for you in negotiation. And with that, I just want to wrap up this section on negotiation. Altogether, I think we have hit 6 important points for improvising a negotiation. I hope you found this useful. And like I've always said in the earlier episode as well, negotiation happens between any two people. It doesn't need to be professional. Even in personal life, you'll have to negotiate, whether it's a 3-year-old who's cranky, or whether it's your boss is going to give you a really good raise or bonus, or whether it's a startup with whom you're trying to exit. All these are points where negotiation and preparation for negotiation really works. Some people are born to negotiate very well, but hey, if you're not that person, you can certainly use the 6 tips which I have offered in episode 1 and episode 2. And come out with flying colors in your next negotiation. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, wishing you lots of scale and success. This is your host Vidyangi Patil. Please like and subscribe this channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.